So my channel is mainly just me doing DIYs, trying to give back to DIYers because I've used YouTube for so many DIY projects. So, but I did a series of videos the end of last year on an ankle surgery I had for a torn posterior tibial tendon. And I had the surgery 8 months ago, wrapped up the last videos when I was back walking, and I was all recovered. I was back doing yoga. I was back swimming 2 days a week, yoga 2 days a week. I was walking 2 miles. Everything was going good until 5 days ago. I slipped on my stairs, coming down my stairs, hardwood stairs. So I was coming down these stairs with wool socks on, believe it or not. How stupid is that? But I was doing another project on a fireplace wire splice, and home by myself. Had to run upstairs, and I never do projects without, I worked in factories as an operations manager, and I was always proud of my safety record of my department. So I know all the safety practices, and a lot of times, as aware as you are of your safe environment and safe behavior, seems like when you get at home, we kind of lose our rigor, or just get a little more lackadaisical around safety. So anyhow, mistake number one, I started a project. I had wool socks on, no shoes, which the project was on a fireplace in the living room. And I was going in and out of the garage in these wool socks up and down 4 steps, which didn't even dawn on me that it was a problem. And then I needed to get a hairdryer to heat shrink wire splice, and ran up these steps, got the hairdryer. It was about 5th one from the bottom, and my right leg slipped off the step. My left leg was a surgically repaired one, so this went out, and then this leg stayed on the step while this leg and my body was sliding down the step. And this leg twisted back and popped. I heard the bone crack. I heard a pop and got myself up off the stairs and stood on it, and surprisingly I didn't have a lot of pain when I stood on it, which was, like I said, a surprise to me. But I knew I messed something up. It was I've broken enough stuff and torn enough stuff that when you mess something up, you know it. So it turns out I have a fractured fibula at the end of the non-displaced fibula fracture. So the fibula is this bone. This is the end of the fibula, this bone that sticks out on your side of your ankle. And I fractured this one. So it's 5 days after the fall, and it's still hot to the touch and swollen. You can't really tell where my bone is, like on this ankle. But so I immediately called my surgeon. Luckily, I had a surgeon from last year from having the posterior tibial tendon repair. So I had a foot and ankle guy already. Called his office Friday. The office had already closed down for the day. And I couldn't get in until yesterday, so Tuesday. So went in to see him Tuesday, took the x-ray, and there's a crack through this bone. The fibula, end of the fibula bone. So what they do for that is it's non-displaced, so that's no surgery. It just has to be, you just have to take it easy and basically let it heal for 3 to 4 weeks. So another reason I'm doing this video is because what worked for me is he said yesterday, he said, wear the boot. So I had a boot from this boot from the tibial tendon surgery, which I wore for 4 weeks. Put a lot of miles on this thing. I, definitely used to it. So put it on because I had it. I put it on immediately Friday, and it just hurt. I couldn't walk. Walking in this hurt the spot that was fractured. So this is for the injury I have. This does not work for me because it puts a little twist when I walk, and any twist at all on this ankle. As long as I'm facing forward, when I do put weight on it, my foot's kind of out to the side. But this boot twists it in a way that puts torque on that bone and causes pain. So his first thing he said yesterday was start wearing a boot. I said I can't wear the boot. I tried it. It hurts. So he said, okay, we'll put you in a splint, this ankle splint, ankle brace. This Don Joy ankle brace. This is a lace up with 2 cross Velcro straps. This works great, and you can get this in your shoe. So this provides, really, it's like wrapping your ankle for sports. It doesn't look like much, but when you lace this thing up, it really secures that area where the injury is. And then you can walk kind of just, the way I walk is I just have my foot out, and, I'm not doing a lot of walking. I can't, just to the car and, little short walks. But yeah, this is the ticket here. This boot is no good for this injury. This big heavy boot just torques the thing in a way that's not comfortable. So yeah, I was hoping I was done with these medical videos, but I like to share because I've broken so much stuff and have experience with these how to heal these things. So if in my mind, this break has to be just let alone and healed, so the fracture heals. So in my mind, everything I'm doing is to keep that thing stable. I don't wear the brace. If I get up in the middle of the night, I go to the bathroom. I'm cognizant of not putting any twist at all on an ankle. Just like a peg leg, just down on it. Then if I walk from the kitchen to the bedroom, especially in the morning, I have crutches from the prior surgeries, hip and the ankle surgery. So I keep the crutches in the bedroom, and if I have to come all the way out to the kitchen, then I use the crutches. I put weight on the ankle, but very little weight, so that helps too. So yeah, I guess I'll do an update, but there's not much to tell other than what I just said. But lesson learned. Two corrective actions I'm taking, preventive actions. So my wife got me these Pilates socks since I had the fall. These little, I don't do Pilates. She's a Pilates person, and I didn't even know they made these socks. But I can't get a tall sock over this ankle. These shorty socks is about all I can get on it, and so I've been wearing these Pilates socks, which are pretty cool, anti-slip. And then I've got some anti-slip stair tread pads for these stairs. This could be a blessing in disguise because someone could have done what I did and tumbled down the stairs and broke their neck. So we need to address these slippery stairs. Our dog has taken a couple tumbles down the stairs, and my wife has said, hey, these stairs, I'm a little concerned about these stairs. We've been in the house 2 years, pretty soon after we moved in, and I just kind of shook it off, like just typical me, not listening to people that have great ideas and that I should be listening to. Until I fell, then now all of a sudden it's a problem because it affects me. So that's another thing I'm working on. Another corrective action is to fix my listening skills, and an obvious safety hazard that anybody with common sense could look at those stairs and say, yeah, you need to put something on this non-slip on those stairs. Why I didn't listen to my wife 2 years ago? Because I'm a dumbass. Shame on me. But we had these stair treads coming. Researched a lot of stair treads. Decided on a pretty high end one. They're stick down. They're not. It's not a runner. Just sticks on each step. And when those show up, they should be here in 2 days. I'll shoot a video on putting those down. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Hopefully this helps anybody else that has a safety hazard similar to mine and an injury similar to mine. So we'll see how it goes. I'm just going to lay low, keep my foot propped up, try to keep the swelling down, ice it, and use this lace-up brace, which is much better than the boot. So that's my story. Hopefully this helps somebody out there with the same issues. So until next one, peace out.